A Providence teen just waiting for a ride home from school, gunned down by a bullet meant for someone else.
And today, his accused killer owned up to the crime and learned his fate.
Let's get right to Eyewitness News reporter Anita Buffoni, who is in court along with many of the victims' emotional family members.
Yes, it was a very emotional sentencing today. Relatives of the victims watched as 17-year-old Joel Lawarca was sentenced for the shooting death of William Parsons. Family members of the victim, 15-year-old William Parsons, were in court for the sentencing wearing matching T-shirts saying "Rest in Paradise." The family cried as Parsons' accused killer faced a judge. Just days after he was charged as an adult for the murder, Joel Lawarca admitted to shooting and killing Parsons, a Central High School student. The Attorney General's office says Lawarca was sentenced to life plus 10 years with the possibility of parole. During a fight outside of the Providence Career and Technical Academy last September, prosecutors say Lawarca fired a shot that hit Parsons, who was not the intended target.
The defendant gave a rights-advised statement indicating he was part of the Hanover Boys gang and was at the school waiting for his friend when a verbal argument occurred and he pulled out the gun and fired.
They say Parsons was waiting for a ride home from school when he was shot. Lawarca was arrested nearby shortly after.
This is clearly a tragic case. There is no good outcome from this, only a tragic, promising life cut short and another young life wastelessly ended.
Lawarca did not address the court. He will serve his sentence at the ACI while in protective custody. Now coming up new at 6, hear from the victim's mother through a statement that was read in the courtroom. Live in Providence, I'm Anita Buffoni, Eyewitness News.
More local coverage now. The family of a teenager gunned down outside a Providence school last year shed tears in court today as the boy's killer admitted to the crime and learned his punishment.
Prosecutors say the 15-year-old victim was an innocent bystander caught in the crossfire. Eyewitness News reporter Anita Buffoni joins us live from Providence to tell you about today's emotional sentencing. Anita?
Shannon and Steve, Joel Lawarca faced a judge today and was sentenced to life plus 10 years with the possibility of parole for the shooting death of William Parsons. The victim's family was in court making for an emotional sentencing. It was the first time the family of the victim was able to address William Parsons' killer, Joel Lawarca. The victim's mother wrote a statement read out loud in court by a prosecutor.
The love I feel for my son, no medicine can cure. My son was the sweetest child since he was little and even more respectable as a teenager.
There were outbursts by other relatives crying as Lawarca faced a judge. Last September, Parsons was waiting for a ride home outside the Providence Career and Technical Academy. At the same time, Lawarca was in a verbal argument with 2 others outside the school when he fired a shot, not striking his intended target, but Parsons instead.
I will never forgive the person who killed my son, and just remember, what goes around comes around.
Prosecutors say Lawarca was in a local gang. Lawarca did not address the court. The state prosecuted the 17-year-old as an adult.
A tragic case, a promising life cut short and another young life wastelessly ended.
Now Lawarca will serve his time at the ACI in protective custody. Live in Providence, I'm Anita Buffoni, Eyewitness News.